Welcome back, you guys. All right, it is Wednesday morning, and I'm going to be doing another simulated flight from Tokyo-Haneda to Singapore. If I recall, looking, it was like a 2,900 mile nautical mile flight, so roughly the same length as going across the U.S. Basically, only thing, most of this will be over water, but we'll see how it goes. Let's go ahead and quickly get over to the sim brief info so you guys can see what's going on here. It's going to be Scoot Airlines is what that is. This one here, it looks like it's going to be departing any moment now, going to Singapore and real world. Their flight number is TR883, but that's a Diana call sign. They don't have ICAO call sign or an actual call sign in here, but I found out on the FAA website, Scoot out of Singapore, or Scooter, is TGW. So that's what I put in there for my flight number. I don't know that SayIntentions is going to recognize it. If they don't, it's not a problem. I can always report it as an issue that, hey, this is, this information's on this FAA database. Can you guys please add it in? And then they'll take it. It's real easy for them to take care of that. Okay, yeah, it's 2,900 miles, almost 3,000 actually. I thought, I think that the line of sight distance was like 28 something. But add in, like for vectoring and the departure and arrival procedures and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna do more step climbing. We're gonna start at flight level 360. Typically planning on taking off from runway 34 right. I already looked at the SayIntentions, the ATIS for RJTT, and that's what it pulled up. I got Singapore Changi right now in here, so however you pronounce it. But just know that that's what the plan is. The twos are the actives for Singapore Changi, whatever. I'm tentatively planning on landing on runway 2 left. I don't know that's what I'm actually going to end up on, but that's what I'm tentatively planning for, at least flight planning for. And 34 right for the departure. Okay, not going to be quite as heavy here. Remember yesterday's flight, I was right at max takeoff weight, 560,000 pounds. This one, not quite so heavy. Only about half as much flight time as yesterday. Yesterday was over 6,000 miles. Okay, so I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and pre-file this on SayIntentions. Okay, and then I had the takeoff performance info in here to work with too. Everything's set up right, optimum. Takeoff runway available 11,024, outside air temp 18, QNH 29.85, dry runway elevation 21, so pretty close to sea level. Auto thrive. Okay, so flaps, we're gonna set at 5 degrees. Thrust limiter, we'll put at T01. You guys see that when I'm on the FMC sometimes. Select temp 45. All right, we're gonna have a little bit higher V speeds because of that flap setting, and you see here speeds increase to improve climb limit. So yeah, yesterday I was at max takeoff weight and my VR speed was right at 164, and this time I'm over 100,000. I think a good almost 100,000 pounds lighter, and still at 164. But yesterday I was at 15 degrees flaps. This time we'll be at 5, so we'll work with that. That's all it's really concerned with there. Let's go ahead and get into the sim now. Okay, let me get that. Since a lot of this stuff is easier done with this air, because I don't know why the VR goggles are not set up for me to change my view perspective like I can, not like right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. All right, then we'll get all these external powers on. Let's get the, actually, let's get sim brief in for, actually, before I do anything else, get the IRUs on, or IRSs on. That way we can get this. Okay, flight plan has been imported. Now let's wait for the weights. Okay, I've never had a tendency to really look for the takeoff and landing data right in here, so I'm gonna look in here and see if that's available in here. Okay, yeah, it actually is. It'll work the same way, just since we're in here anyway. 78X RJTT 34 right on weight in pounds. Okay, our takeoff weight 469,244. Okay, look like the weather is already in there, so that calculate. Okay, yeah, we still got that. Still got the same V speeds, all in the low to mid 160s. Takeoff limit, max weight 531,615, limited by the field. Okay. Yeah, because the runway length and the weather probably is what's causing it. 985. Runway gradient is minus 0.1%, so I can also put that in my. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, we're going to be pretty far down the runway there, already over by the threshold on the departure end by the time we're reaching, by the time we're rotating, it looks like. Latest reject 8449 feet, stop distance 10.5. Okay, so we're going to be using a ton of runway. All right, let's go ahead and get to the checklist. I'm not really concerned about any of these. Just pretend that I already did the exterior inspection and all that kind of stuff. Okay, battery switch. Put it on. C1 and C2 pumps. Make sure they're off. They're off. Electric demand pumps are off, or electric demand off, whatever. External power on if available. Yes, it is. Pre-flight IRSs I already turned on. Primary flight computer guard closed. Yeah, it's this one here. IFE passenger seat power, whatever you want to call it. Seen that one yesterday, but I'm trying to remember where exactly it's at. Oh, right here. Okay, that and the cabin utility are both on. APU generator switches, they're on. Generator control switch, on. These look like they're all on. Double check. Yeah, those are on. APU started. Engine hydraulic pump, on. Okay, these are on, yep. C1 and C2 are off still. Same with electric demand. Alright, fuel pumps are off. Fuel panels over here, everything Yeah, looks like everything's off. Any ice to auto? No, it said auto, not on. Nav lights to on. Go ahead and turn all these on. Row lights. Okay, recirculation switches. Let me switch over to the co-pilot side now if I can get it to over there. I think the recirculation is up a little bit higher. I thought it was over here somewhere on this section. I switch back over to pilots. Trying to not use the cheat thing there. I want to be able to find it without using the cheat thing if I can. There are multiple recirculation switches though. I would have expected them to be over here on the environmental control tab. Yeah, okay, so those two. Why was I having a hard time reading that? I don't know. Alright, pack switches are, I put them to auto. Trim air switches, so on. They're on. Flight director. On. Auto throttles, on. Autopilot disengage. Checked up. Inclement selector to auto. That's on the heading. Okay, that's on the heading knob here. One is the heading, and the other one is the inclement. That's an auto. Landing gear is down. Well, dark in here. Trying to see where the lever's actually at, but pretty safe to say it should have been over here somewhere. Okay, we know it's down. Auto brakes to our projected takeoff. That is right there. Parking brake is set. Speed brake is down. Flaps are up. Fuel control switches to cut off. Those are behind the throttle quadrant. There. Gas ATC to standby. Gosh, it is standby. Alright, flight deck door closed and locked. I recall there being passenger signs as needed. I was just kind of curious about that one. I was, that's just for oxygen. That's right for forced oxygen. Passenger signs to auto. 1 and C2 to auto. Yeah. Left and right command to auto. Fuel pumps to on. I did not take a look yet to see if I need the center pumps. We can always do that by coming over here to this system. Go to fuel. Yeah, we do have 20,000 pounds in the center tank, so we will need the center fuel pump. Alright. Gas. XPDR. Trim. I'm gonna need to. Okay, we'll come back to that because I'm gonna need this stuff and get into. No. Need to get into here now. RJTT. Good. Ouch. All right. And we are TTWA. We're on the other two pages there. Access for departure. And got some Yankee routes there to do. Little fuel weight, 275 1. Okay, cruise altitude is going to be 40,000. Cost index 151. Cruise CG 6%. But not going to be our takeoff. That. Got 18 for that. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm wanting. Yeah. That was my planned setup there, if I remember right. Class 5. PG. Here. Air gravity is 32% Mach. Okay, so I need 2.5 units of trim. Completed. All right, this is giving me a little bit lower V speeds here. 155, 159, and 166. But again, the plan on that on sim brief was to take off a little bit faster for better takeoff climb performance. Gross weight is right in the area of what I was expecting. Not too concerned about any of this stuff because I already have we can put the info in there, but I'm not concerned about it because I already have the info from sim brief. Okay, I think we are good. Let me double check these settings where I have that they're where I want them. I think we're okay. Okay, yeah. Got look like everything's set up all the way to the receiver. To the receiver, the destination. Okay. I think I'm ready here. Trim is checked. Beacon, I believe, already turned it on. Yeah, beacon is on. All right, starting engines. We are ready for our departure clearance. Let me go into SayIntentions. 121.825 is the clearance frequency. Let's see. That's good. You know what? Let me try this. Co-pilot set VHF 1 to 121.825.
Yo, Zoniac 1273 VHF 1 is set to 121.825. Bro, ready to pick up our IFR clearance when you are.
Did you set his or something? Mine's not set. Let's switch over to his side. He's not set to that. Okay, so it's apparently not going to work, even though he said he did it, but it's not set there. Okay, and then I'm going to set VHF2 to the comm channel. I'm into the ramp channel. Oops. Clearance, Scooter 883 Heavy, request IFR to Singapore.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
I can barely hear that guy. Or her, whoever it was.
Scooter 883, cleared to Singapore via the Laxas for departure. Then as filed. Runway 34 right, initial climb to 7,000. Departure on 119.6 squawk 5416.
Cleared via Laxas 4, then is filed. Initial climb 7,000. Expect 360 or after 10. And squawk 5416. Scooter 883 Heavy.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
What? You already gave me a clearance.
Scooter 883, incorrect readback. Cleared to Singapore via the Laxas 4 departure. Then as filed. Runway 34 right, initial climb to 7,000. Departure on 119.6 squawk 5416.
Scooter 883 Heavy cleared via Laxas 4 departure, then as filed. Climb maintain 7,000. Squawk 5416.
Scooter 883, read back correct. Ground is on 122.075. Safe flight, sir.
122075 for ground 883 Heavy. Okay. Alright, we are ready for pushback and startup, I believe. Let's see what else we got here. We got a Japan Airlines flight next to us. And what is that? More Japan Airlines flights over there. Anyone behind me? Nope. Ground, Scooter 883 Heavy, request pushback startup.
Scooter 883, push and start approved. Face northeast.
Push and start approved, face northeast, Scooter 883 Heavy. Alright, now let's make that one the active and ramp, flight deck, request pushback.
Scooter 883 unable. Contact ground on 122.075 for pushback clearance.
Ramp, flight deck, request tug. Oh, I see. We're gonna do this game, huh? Ramp, flight deck, request tug. Why are they not responding? Oh, they switched me back over to... Why don't I get switched over from active to standby on that? Ramp, flight deck, request tug.
Say again, please.
What on earth did they say? Brent, flight deck request. What? Ramp, flight deck, request tug.
Ground to flight deck, tug on the way.
Oh, that took long enough. Yeah.
Bypass pin inserted. Just let me know when you're ready to start the pushback.
Oh, this is funny. They got a place called Rainbow Bridge here. Maybe that's where all the dead animals go, all dead pets go, is the Rainbow Bridge. Now I can joke about that. Not funny when someone's pets die, but if you make a joke out of it, that's where they go. Okay, I'm going to release the park and brake. Park and brake release, ready for pushback.
Ground to flight deck, tug standing by. Off block time 2:47 a.m. Starting pushback now. Ground to flight deck, cleared for engine start in sequence.
Copy, clear, engine start. Where did the switches go? They were up here somewhere, if I remember right. Oh, over there. Okay. All right. Monitor our gauges here. You know, I think now's the point where I'll go ahead and put the goggles on. I have a hard time reading some of the stuff, so because the resolution on the goggles isn't as good as on the monitor. I think while that's firing up, we'll just go ahead and do this, so hopefully it'll help. Come on.
Ground to flight deck. Pushback complete. Please ensure parking brakes are set. Standing by for confirmation of good engine start and report when ready for disconnect.
Alright, we are connected. Now let's get into VR mode. Oh, no. Let me get out and back in. Why does this thing like to do this to me? Yeah, I don't need that. Oh, we gonna play asshole games now? Don't want to go into VR mode? Great. Okay, it looked like it wants to act up. I don't know if it's flight sim or... yeah, it looks like it could be. I don't even know what mode I'm in. Okay. Try this again. Might be more issues with virtual desktop. The streamer not connecting to the client again, even though they're both hooked up to the same Wi-Fi. Common problem I run into. Okay, I'm connected again. Are you gonna cooperate with me this time? Great. I can see that the monitor through the bottom of my, through the gap there at the bottom of my goggles, that it's looking okay on there, but all I got's a black screen on the goggles themselves. Okay, this isn't gonna work. Hang on. See, outside of VR mode it works, but in VR mode, Yeah, all I got's a black screen in the goggles. Okay. So the hell with the goggles. Okay, those are started. Now alright, we've already checked all those before taxi. Any ice as needed. I think we already had everything in autos. Be fine. Cancel recall switch checked. Window heat. Okay, just got to use these four, huh? Emergency lights and TCAS off. I saw those emergency lights up here somewhere as well. That was a toggle switch, but I don't remember. Oh, here they are. Yeah, it's a toggle. Put it in armed. Okay, and then TCAS will, that's okay, because that's one of these other checklists.
VHF 821, contact tower on 118.1.
Switching to tower, VHF 821.
That's on the active? Okay. No. Parking brake set. Engine started.
Roger, parking brake set and engine started. Disconnecting tug now. Have a good flight.
Yeah, we're not holding anybody up either. I just gotta wait until they actually just move the tug out of the way. What's the holdup? Ramp, flight deck, you're clear to disconnect the tug.
Alright, we're disconnecting now. Stand by.
Okay, now I'm seeing movement, so yeah, the aircraft's kind of going down now, so that means they are getting. I don't know why it had that issue. I'm gonna.
Ground to flight deck. Bypass pin removed. We've disconnected and crew is clear. You're good to go. Goodbye. See you soon.
Okay, so I'll have to maybe report that later on. Okay, APU to off. Flap set for takeoff. Flaps are at 5, taxi lights are on. Okay, let's switch over to the ground frequency again. Actually, that's those are on. Okay, before taxi checklist complete. All right, so we'll take care of all those afterward. We need to get to ground chart. There's a whole shitload of them here. Let's see. Yeah, we're still at RJTT there. Okay, I didn't tell any taxiways there, so that's not going to help us. So big they have 2 different charts, north and south. That'll work. We can actually see the end of the runway through this one. We are up here by where it says Papa 11, so. Ground, Scooter 883 Heavy is ready to taxi. Are we not listening? Okay, it's the active channel and I'm set to it. Right. Ground, Scooter 883 Heavy is ready to taxi.
Scooter 883, Tokyo ground, runway 34 right taxi via Papa 11, Lima, Lima 3, hold short of runway 34 left, then Alpha 3, Alpha, Echo, Charlie 1.
34 right via Papa 11, Lima, Lima 3, hold short 34 left, then Alpha 3, Alpha, Echo, Charlie 1, 883 Heavy. Okay, so yeah, we'll go down to the end of the runway there. Let's see. Yeah, the parallel taxiway, take it all the way down, and then I like how the gates here are labeled. Why it says 143 though? Because I was on I was in 142 though. Weird. How about we turn this way? We're not really supposed to use that, go across like they're set up for me to go straight across, but technically not supposed to do that. That's why those X's are there. We really want to be on that next taxiway over, but since that's not set up right, I might have to report that as well, that they keep clearing me to, over by Papa 11, want me to go straight across when those X's are there for a reason, because they're not intended for aircraft to use them. That one I can easily do on the Discord server. They have a channel there called Taxi Tuner. I can always report it on that in that section there. quiet here now. Must be the overnight parking area right here. Or it's all cargo. Yeah, that's what it is. That's and that cargo, so. Perhaps it's just a cargo ramp. Some airfields have an overnight parking area where they're not at the gate. Towers 118.1. So when I get on the other side of the across 3-4 left and Alpha 3, Alpha Echo Charlie 1.
Approaching runway 34 left.
Okay, this is Alpha 2 here, so then Alpha 3 is the next one.
Approaching runway 34 left.
I think. Or did I overshoot it? Yeah, I want to say that was actually at Alpha 3, but it said Alpha 2 on the sign. Or did I just go, I went too far down, that's why. Okay, I see what happened. I crossed at Alpha 2 instead of at Lima 3 like I was supposed to. Pretty simple from here. Once we make the turn, we just let it go straight across. Okay, and I believe 118.1 was the tower frequency, so. Be easier to do there. But now when we're going to switch the tower, all I have to do is hit the standby button, to change the standby frequency to the active. I like how these are these taxiways are labeled here too. Easy to tell on the ground when they're labeled like that, but unfortunately not the entire airfield looks like that, and unfortunately most airfields don't look like that either. And when in doubt, also with SayIntentions, I can also come up here to the live map. Let me turn off center lock. Yeah, see, I can always use that to help. Oops. Watch out for that drunk pilot, that drunk 787 pilot. Ah, if only I was drunk. That was a bit quiet here. Don't hear much other activity from anyone trying to taxi, but given the time of day, I guess that makes sense. Alright, I can see the hold line now.
Contact tower on 118.1. Bye-bye.
118.1 for 883 Heavy. Okay, strobes are on. Could be. Yeah, strobe is on. Alright, landing lights on. Yeah, I set it to RA, TARA, whatever. Flaps are set for takeoff. Okay. Takeoff. Brakes release. Power levels to alright. Now we're Scooter 883 Heavy, holding short of 3-4 right, ready for takeoff.
Scooter 883. Heavy, Tokyo Tower, runway 34 right. Winds 3107, cleared for takeoff.
Ready for takeoff, 883 Heavy. It's going to be a long ass takeoff.
Approaching runway 34 right.
One thing I forgot to do is set my initial heading. Okay. 338. All right, let's go ahead and spool all the way up. Come on.
Runway 34 right remaining. 8,500 feet.
Contact departure.
Switch to departure, 883 Heavy. Why are we not turning? Take over when I get on this magenta line, but it's not. accepts this thing here, I need to switch over to departure. Too busy fighting this, you know. Departure is on 119.6. It's almost 3,000 miles. I'm gonna run it at higher speed simulation though once I get to altitude. Departure, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, 7,000.
Scooter 883 Heavy, Tokyo departure, radar contact. Climb via the set to flight level 170.
I'm flight level 170, 883 Heavy. Why is my LNAV not working?
Scooter 883, flight level 170 is 17,000.
Huh. What's that? Alright, maybe that'll work. What is with this thing? Okay, my heading hold isn't working. God's sake, come on. Is that all it is? Because that's not on? Where on earth are you going? I can't get vertical speed to hold the work. Alright, here we go. Alright, so that's shame on me. Alright. Alright, get all of our landing and taxi lights off. Gear and flaps are up. Climb. Got those off. Alright, so we are good all the way up until this end. Just gotta. Yeah, I forgot to turn on, hit the autopilot engage button. I thought maybe just hitting vertical speed mode would get it to start on its own, but.
Oh,
Nope. Lesson learned.
right? There you go.
Okay, we still got a degree of flaps in we gotta get rid of. Alright, so go ahead and accelerate to 310. Climb flight level 330, Scooter 883 Heavy. I didn't even set my altimeter right. Not like it was far off. 29 or 89, I think is what it actually was supposed to be at. It's only like off by 0.03. I won't really even have to worry about hitting the standard thing because I'm already set to standard. Go ahead and set the standard anyway. We're going to be making a turn to the west here in a minute. We're 5 miles out.
Scooter 883, climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, 883 Heavy. Yeah, now in the U.S., 17,000 feet, yeah, you say 17,000 or 17,000, but in other countries, I think especially Europe, they say flight level is all the way down to...
Scooter 883, contact Tokyo Control on 127.5.
127.5 for 883 Heavy. I figured Japan would have been the same. They all drive on the wrong side of the road. At least as far as British people and Japanese are concerned. Center Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 225, climbing flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Tokyo Control identified. Good morning.
Yeah, whatever. Tokyo Control, that'll work too. Things definitely climbing more easily at this weight. Oh, I actually do have some other activity going on over here. Yeah, look like I've got some weather behind us. Well, at 95. Yeah, I look like 95 is the limit for TPR. Could be wrong. That might be turbine pressure ratio. Something along that line. I'd imagine it's for turbine pressure ratio. Temperature, no, that's not. Turbofan pressure ratio. Okay. Yeah, I'm used to it being EPR, or engine pressure ratio. Let's get our vertical speed down. Still up 0.78 Mach. Watching for it to get to 0.85. Yesterday it automatically switched me over to 0.85 on its own. I didn't even have to do anything to it. It looks like we're right on cue with our climb profile here. We'll be at top of climb just maybe a little bit before plan, so not a bad thing. Once we level off, I'll start running at higher sim rate. We can get to Singapore more quickly.
Scooter 883, contact Tokyo info on 127.15.
12715 for 883 heavy. Also wait till I get to already about to level off anyway. Tokyo info, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 330, climbing 360.
Scooter 883, Tokyo info identified. Good morning.
go by all these waypoints. It's R means you're in Asia, or part of Asia, if you will, and then J means Japan, and then the other two after that is go before the airfield. About 1,000 foot per minute now. And actually it's climbing pretty well. Better than I expected. Step climb is the 38,000 after Amami, it looks like. Actually, let's come back over here. Where is Amami? Oh, way down here, okay. And Japan covers a pretty good distance there. Bunch of different islands. Alright, we are at 4x speed now. Don't get us to do this flight quicker. UTC minus 7, they are plus 9, so I'm 16 hours behind them right now. So 11 plus 16 is 27, so that's 3:30 in the morning right now in Japan. That would explain why it's a little on the quiet side at the time there. But there was still some activity there. Way to change the size of this. Look, I can only move it. Man, this will work. It just seems like it's pretty damn big. Is right there. see. Okay. Is it just... some hitting new waypoints, I guess. That's all it was. Thought something was having some issues there. Check. We don't have any discontinuities. I don't think we do because we actually have a good distance indication to Singapore. Oh, yep, we're good. Okay. Miles to the next waypoint, Rijo.
Scoot 883, contact Tokyo Control on 133.35.
13335 for 883 Heavy. Tokyo Control, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Tokyo Control identified. Good morning.
Yeah, I switch to normal sim rate every time I have to talk to one of them, or change my radio or whatever, and then after I'm done, I switch back over. Gradually zoom in between my current location and the destination as well, or sometimes between myself and a particular target like Amami. I saw some weather pop up there a second ago.
Scooter 883, contact Tokyo Info on 126.75.
12675 for 883 Heavy. Tokyo Info, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Tokyo Info identified. Konnichiwa.
It's certainly freaking dark as hell here. I can see the Milky Way there up above, but between the back row of the water now between the water and maybe some clouds as well. Man, it is freaking dark. Most of these moon phase anyway. I think it's getting close to new moon too. Waxing crescent, about 30% illuminated. First quarter phase follows on April 23rd. Okay, so that's tomorrow. And of course, waxing crescent means we're emerging from the new moon phase and becoming increasingly visible each night. Okay. That should mean we are about a week or so off from a full moon. Okay. We've got some moderate rain here up ahead. Got one little spot there with a little bit heavier there. Not real heavy, but it's definitely a bit on the heavy side. Yeah, I look like we're in 4x speed still. Hard to tell sometimes, especially with, I don't have a ground reference to work with right now. Oh yeah, that movement of the aircraft definitely tells me that at accelerated speed though.
Scooter 883, contact Fukuoka Control on 124.15.
Contact what? Fukuoka? That's what I thought it said. 12415 for 883 heavy. Fukuoka Control, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Fukuoka Control identified. Good morning.
Where we're at in altitude in relation to that. It's so damn dark. It's the stars, so hopefully that means we will be yeah, I think we'll be above it, but guarantee it.
Scooter 883, contact Tokyo info on 126.75.
12675 for 883 heavy. Wasn't already on that channel before? Yes. Tokyo info. Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Tokyo info identified. Good morning.
as it is also a good way to tell that I'm in accelerated mode. Weather showing up in here too. Yeah, oh yeah. Look at that. That's some pretty good strong weather there. A lot of red. As long as I'm above it, I'm okay, I would say, but that's not really a guarantee. Just look up a red sprite. If you don't know what a red sprite is.
Scooter 883, contact Kobe Control on 135.65.
13565 for 883 heavy. Kobe Control, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Kobe Control, identified. Good morning.
Kelly, try flying in this. Got weather here, but it's on below me. Yeah, I had to actually look up what phase the moon was in, because like, are we in the new moon phase or something? But it's at 30% right now. Tomorrow is actually first quarter moon. And then next week will be full moon. And there's the Milky Way galaxy right there. You know, there's some lightning flashes there.
Scooter 883, contact Fukuoka Control on 133.5.
Pretty much, yeah. 133.5. 133.5 for 883 heavy. Fukuoka, yeah. Fukuoka Control, Scooter 883 Heavy, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Fukuoka Control, identified. Good morning.
So I'm flying over the ocean right now, the Pacific, so, I mean, I'm kind of not too far away from land, but not close enough where any civilization can light up through the, well, there's a lot of cloud there anyway, so. There are some more islands down here. still Japan. It surprises me how much area Japan covers, all the different islands. So I can tell by the airfield codes, RJ, anything is Japan.
Scooter 883, contact Kobe Control, 133.85.
13385 for 883 heavy. Kobe Control, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Kobe Control identified. Good morning.
Keep handing me off so much, I gotta change my sim rate back to normal speed to deal with that. I mean, I don't really have to, but it's I'll have more problems if I keep it at. Right, I'm running at accelerated speed when they're not talking to me. Of light here on the top of these clouds here. Starting to get off to the side of the storm here, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be out of the way of the storm here pretty soon. Alright, Mommy is where we're going to be requesting a step climb to 380.
Scooter 883, contact Fukuoka Control on 123.9er.
123.9er for 883 heavy. Fukuoka Control, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 360.
Scooter 883, Fukuoka Control, identified. Ohayo gozaimasu.
Oh, he actually said Ohio this time. Gozaimasu. They were saying something else to me yesterday, some other word, I don't know. Yeah, I remember Ohio, I think my mom or somebody taught me that Ohio is the Japanese word for hello or something like that, but controllers yesterday were saying some other word. Oh yeah, definitely getting a better view of the clouds now. Should be I'm getting closer to the sun starting to come out though. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a pretty nice view there. Yeah, that's basically what it is. The sun has just started shining some light across the horizon. Yeah. A good amount of cloud cover still. See how this horizon looks as we progress. Quickly coming up on a mommy. We're going to be requesting a step climb here as soon as we get through crossing it. Control 883 Heavy, request step climb to flight level 380.
Scooter 883, climb flight level 380.
Climb 380, 883 Heavy. Okay, now I did notice, alright, that island is Japanese, that's also Japanese, that's Japanese, but over here, RO, rodeo and road and RO, that should be somewhere, that can't be Greece.
Fukuoka Control, all Nippon 892, flight level 360. All Nippon 892, radar contact.
that's okay. Maybe that's Okinawa then. Oh, okay. So RJ is regular Japan, and then RO is Okinawa. Lima. Oh, that's where Canadian Air Base is. Okay. Lieutenant Marine Corps Air Station. Naha, okay. This is where Okinawa is. And there's somebody not far away from me here. Okay, so when do we actually get into, and that's still Okinawa, looks like. And goes way down. I had no idea it covered that much area. Now, RC should be China. So, is this Taipei here or something? RCTP. Taiwan, International Airport. Yeah, main international airport serving Taipei. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so that's when it will be. Japan comes all the way over here, real close to Taipei, to Taiwan. That's also considered Okinawa, I guess. Almost unreal how far that covers. Oh, we got another one right in front of us. Okay, I gotta see where my next step increase is. Why would I go down back down to 360? Okay, Moxon. Too far down that way.
Contact Kobe Control on 119.3.
119.3 for 883 heavy. Kobe Control, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 380.
Scooter 883, Kobe Control identified. Ohio.
Okay, center tension getting low, so we'll turn those pumps off. Acknowledge that. I don't know why checklist incomplete normal shows up when I did the checklist, so. Alright, we're still 2185 out. 0044 Zulus, our approximate arrival time. That is 4 hours and 40 minutes. So, at least an hour real time based on 4x stem rate. question now, since if I get to the way.
Kobe Control, Janair 32, flight level 360.
Janair 32, radar contact.
Down there. 1854 away. Good climb to 400 after Mikan, I guess. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I don't want to take too long to get up to that altitude.
Contact Taipei Center on 123.6.
123.6 for 883 Heavy. Taipei Center, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 380.
Scooter 883, Taipei Center, identified, Jintian Hale.
Altitude alert. Am I getting some turbulence or something?
Fukuoka Control, EVA 262, flight level 340.
EVA 262, radar contact. EVA 262, contact Taipei Center on 127.3. 127.3 for EVA 262.
Taipei Center, EVA 262, flight level 330.
EVA 262, radar contact. Scooter 883, contact Taipei Center on 127.3.
127.3 for 883 Heavy. Taipei Center, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 380.
Scooter 883, Taipei Center, identified. Zhao 2's on 1.
119.3, 883 heavy. Near the Philippines, I see. Manila Center, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 380.
Scooter 883 Heavy, Manila Center, good morning.
Manila Center, 883 Heavy, request step climb to flight level 400.
Scooter 883, climb flight level 400.
Climb 400, 883 Heavy. The Philippines here then? Yeah.
Manila Center, Scooter 883. Good morning, maintaining flight level 400. Min Control, Scooter 883. Good morning at flight level 400.
Scooter 883. Ho Chi Minh Control. Identified. Good morning.
023. I don't know which runway we're gonna get, but I'm tentatively planning on. I know 2 left and 2 center are the ones that are showing up on the ATIS. So it's gonna be one of those 2. I just don't know which one. Can't put ILS frequency in yet until I know which one it's gonna be. But at least we can know our runway heading 023. We're headed, where's my course knob? Do I not have a course knob? I thought I did. Okay, so this one's not like the 737 where it has a course knob on it.
Scooter 883. Contact Ho Chi Minh. Control on 133.05.
13305 for 883 heavy. Ho Chi Minh Control, Scooter 883 Heavy with you, flight level 400.
Scooter 883, Ho Chi Minh Control identified. Good morning. 1120.1.
120.1 for 883 heavy. Ho Chi Minh Control, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 400.
Scooter 883, Ho Chi Minh Control identified. Good morning.
We are only 45 minutes from top of descent now. However, like I said, I'm running an accelerated pace, so it'll be less than that, really. Maybe a little more than 10 minutes. Between 10 and 15 minutes. Just over 500 miles out from Singapore. Changi Airport, whatever.
Scooter 883, contact Ho Chi Minh Control on 133.05.
What are you on that one? 133.05 for 883 heavy. Ho Chi Minh Control, Scooter 883 Heavy, back with you, flight level 400.
Scooter 883, Ho Chi Minh Control, identified. Good morning.
Center. They're gonna set me up for 20 center, so let me go to runway 2 center. What am I saying? No, it is 20 center. Okay. That is heading 203. I'm gonna need to change this. not use this? Let's see. Center's not an option. I think I'm gonna have to use a different star.
Scooter 883, contact Lumpur radar on 134.25.
134.25 for 883 heavy.
Scooter 883, contact Lumpur radar on 134.25.
Who said that? Lumpur radar, Scooter 883 heavy with you, flight level 400.
Scooter 883, Lumpur radar identified. Greetings.
Okay, so Mobile. Any other Mama whatever? Okay, Mama 2B. Is that on deal? Get my range brought in. Okay, 275 miles out. Alright, that'll work. Okay, 20 center is 109.7. Course is 203. Alright, let me come back to this one. 109.7. And 203.
Scooter 883, when you're ready to begin your descent, descend, flight level 280.
Send 280, 883 heavy.
Scooter 883, descend, flight level 280.
I did just see that. Okay, I like to slowly move that that needle, so the vertical speed, so the throttles have a chance to react to it effectively. Okay, we're gonna have to do the Mobile 2B and not the 2A, because 2B. Center. Yeah, 2A is only meant for the runway 2s, and 2B is for the 20s. I already got that set up now. Yeah, it looks like that's a pretty straightforward approach right there. As long as I get down to altitude in the right amount of time. Like we're right on pace with that descent profile.
Lumpur radar on 132.6.
132.6 for 883 heavy. Lumpur radar, Scooter 883 heavy, with your flight level 300, descending 280.
Scooter 883 heavy, Lumpur radar, good morning.
You guys, I need to be below 210 for this next one. 6,000. Come on. I'm gonna sit and wait for these guys to clear me lower. So I end up having to do hold and vector or whatever. So I'm not interested. Okay, heading 179. At least gets me in the neighborhood of where I need to be if I need a vector. Okay, looks like we're a little bit above our descent profile, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring my airspeed down a touch.
Scooter 883, contact Singapore approach on 124.05.
124.05 for 883 heavy. Singapore approach, Scooter 883 heavy with you, 17,000, descending 6,000.
Scooter 883, heavy, Singapore approach identified. Good morning, expect the ILS, runway 20 center approach into Singapore.
20 center approach, also do you have the current altimeter? Get it myself. WSSS. Juliet. Alright, visibility 10, few clouds at 1800, temperature 26, dew point 4.
Scooter 883, descend altitude 10,000 feet, turn right heading 210 vectors for the ILS runway 20 center approach, QNH 1007. Scooter 883, descend altitude 10,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Right turn 210 and descend 10,000, vectors ILS 20 center, 883 heavy. Okay. Come on. One's a little bit more like the Airbus.
Niner Mike Alpha India Golf contact Ho Chi Minh Control on 120.9er.
Over to Ho Chi Minh Control on 120.9er. See Niner Mike Alpha India Golf.
I don't know why they're vectoring me this way. And on top of that, not clearing me down lower. This does help me get my airspeed down, so actually I'm already low enough, slow enough, I think, where I can get 1 degree flaps in. I think 280, if I remember right, was my max speed for 1 degree flaps. Oh, 260. Okay, yeah, it wouldn't even let me extend my flaps until... Alright, now we're down low enough. Oh, yeah, you see, now the flaps decided to come out.
Redcap 6049er contact Lumpur radar on 132.6.
Switching to Lumpur radar on 132.6. Redcap 6049er.
Scooter 883, turn right heading 230.
Right turn 230, 883 heavy.
Scooter 883 heavy, descend altitude 3500 feet, turn left heading 165, speed below 220 knots.
Descend 3500, keep speed below 220, Scooter 883 heavy. Oh. Ah, crap. I forgot to set my vertical speed.
Scooter 883 heavy, proceed direct tailwind. Descend altitude 2500 feet until established on the localizer, cleared for the ILS runway 20 center approach.
Direct Elman and descend 2,500 feet. They'll established on 20 center, 883 heavy. Okay, so I need to get rid of that route discontinuity. Okay. Could be turning direct. I'm not on. Auto brakes, we'll put U in. Approach, seatbelt, already have it in auto. checked. Does not have an arm position. No. Okay. This doesn't seem to have miles out. Okay. Yeah, she got down to altitude pretty quickly though.
2,500.
Miles out. Which parking spot plan on.
Scooter 883, contact Singapore Tower on 118.25 when established.
11825 when established, 883 heavy. Singapore Towers, Scooter 883 Heavy with you on final, 5-mile final for 20 center. Too high.
Scooter 883 Heavy, Singapore Tower, roger. Continue approach runway 20 center.
Approaching runway 20 center.
Scooter 883 Heavy, runway 20 center, winds calm. Clear to land.
Clear to land, 883 Heavy. Too high. Should technically abort this landing.
1,000.
But just for the fun of it.
500. 50, 14, 13, 20, 10.
It's not me centered. Thinking a bit to get my airspeed down. Alright. I already had the thrust reversers going.
Scooter 883, exit at Tango 7 if able. Contact ground on 120.905.
I'm on Echo 9.
Approaching runway 20 center.
One 120.905 for 883 Heavy. Okay, I have no idea what parking spot they're gonna put me on. The thing's not. I'm not seeing it on the window, so. Ground, Scooter 883 Heavy, clear of runway 20 center, taxi to the gate.
Scooter 883, Singapore ground. Taxi to Terminal 1 gate, D44, via Tango 10, Tango, Papa 5, Papa 7. Good day.
Papa 5, Papa 7. Okay, Delta. Taxi at gate Delta 44 via Tango 1, Tango, Papa 5 and Papa 7 at 883 Heavy. Let me get, just in case. That'll help me out a little bit. I got a pretty good idea where I need to be for that. I still have the thrust reversers. Yeah, this is one of these not very well marked airfields here. Okay, so right after we get past that northeast pier thing there, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Still wouldn't think so. Okay, yeah, here's that pier. Here are those piers right there. Right on the other side of that north end of that pier. The Hana flight, Korean Air, a couple of them over there. A pretty big one there. Is that an A380 or something else? Singapore Airlines. Can't tell. Looks like it could be an A380. From this vantage point, it's hard to tell though. Looks like maybe a 787 next to it. Really going that fast? Okay, this would be Papa 5 right here. I think that second one. Guess it was the first one. Well, there's an aircraft in the gate that I'm supposed to go to. Probably the same flight I'm simulating though anyway, because I see it is a Scooter 787. We can go right between these other ones. These got Scooter liveries on them. I'll go with this empty one here. I don't care what actual gate it is, but Alright, I think that'll work. Alright, speed brake. Let's put it back down. Guess I should have started the APU earlier. Alright, auto brake off, flaps have already retracted. Gas to transponder. This is set. Internal power on. Fuel pumps off. Flaps up. Parking brake set. Fuel control switches to cut off. Engines are already shutting off because of the lack of fuel pressure though. C1 and C2 off. And electric demand off. Again, already turned off, that off. Flight director off. Alright, TCAS ATC to standby. Weather radar off. Okay, not gonna worry about these. Alright guys, that is a wrap on this one. Anybody actually sees this, great, thank you for watching. Otherwise, it's just a good catalog for me, so. Y'all have a good day. We'll see you later.